Well, I'm gonna be brief because this week I'm off. That means I have a lot of time to keep up with some of my late uploads. And that is Friday Night SmackDown, February 14th. What happened? Well, we had, of course, the title match after the Fatal 4-Way. Carmella gets her title shot in the opening part of the show against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. But then there was a moment of bliss to open up the show. Don't know why. I think they want to put some courtesy to rhyme a reason why she should fight. Other than Carmella hasn't been women's champion since 2018. So she's trying to get back her momentum after being pretty much irrelevant for a majority of 2019. So it could have been just a comeback year storyline, but they did something to make this pseudo personal. And then after she lost the women's championship, somehow later they thought it would be the smartest idea to just like make sure it's her solid mission. I think should be for every woman that lost in the Fatal 4-Way, as well as Carmella, that people are already shouting around the internet that she should already be like automatically number one contender after beating her ass, having a surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble, then awkwardly changing up her look to look like that girl in that in that scene involved from Black Panther, awkwardly changing her hair and dyeing it for no damn reason. Naomi looked weird. I liked her afro look. It looked different, it looked cool, and it looked attractive. And now we had the women's championship match. Enough said, she won via tights. There was a belly to belly that was a kick out, elbow drop that was a kick out. Oh, we got a super kick, that weak ass head scissors over Carmella, but Bayley grabbed the rope immediately, undervaluing. This was the opening part of the match, so WWE already didn't treat Bayley with any sort of respect she can, even though she changed her character like October, and somehow she's over 200 days already as women's champion. I already feel like it's the most underappreciated, the most underdeveloped belt in the entire WWE. Over what slack that we give the women's division, the SmackDown Women's title literally has no relevancy of a reign, other than that time Carmella won it at post Mania 34. So I guess there's some continuity in that, but other than that, no one practically cared about this match. No one cared. It was just to build up Naomi after Bayley came around attacking Carmella. Naomi came out of nowhere via assistance and to view her shot to be the next number one contender. And they showed later in the night it's going to be a number one contenders match next week to see who will face off against Bayley via Super Showdown. Still information over Sasha Banks vaguely on injury, don't know when. Next up, Sheamus against Shorty G and Apollo Crews in a handicap match, and they immediately lose. There was a springboard moonsault off Apollo Crews. That was a roll-up moonsault. Sheamus then came with a full head of steam, axe handle, bro kick on Apollo Crews. Then I think a bro kick on Shorty G. It's like they're complete jobbers now. They've been complete jobbers since the King of the Ring tournament. Apollo Crews been a jobber since 2016 after his feud with Rusev for the United States Championship. He's barely been the complete sort of relevancy unless you watch Raw and you know Titus worldwide, and the most relevant part of his entire career was him botching a rushing entrance. He slid down into the ring apron's DMs and made himself a complete joke in the wrestling world. And now I haven't even seen him on TV since like September. I haven't seen him on TV in a while. Titus O'Neil, I don't know what he's doing. He's either just getting a break, nursing an injury, or he's doing more of a backstage role than any other veteran on WWE right now. This just devalued the factor of Shorty G even having individual push-ins, changing his name, changing his ring attire, changing the way he operates, and he still keeps the same wrestling style. And he comes around attacking guys from the back. And what's with his constant consistency? Other than Robert Roode, I have always seen him tag with black people. I'm not trying to start anything. I just find a pattern. Jason Jordan, Shelton Benjamin, and then he tagged Wolf Apollo Crews in a handicap match against Sheamus, and he still lost. It was worse than his feud he had with the Usos for the SmackDown tag titles, and they never even won the belts once since he was tagging with Benjamin. This was just a joke of a feud. This was just a reign of momentum for a guy that's been, having a tiny stream of popularity his time because he's been showing good matches when he was with Corbin after the tournament, then in the tournament, showing to be the local underdog. Then when he lost, people were rooting for Shorty G, and then they changed his freaking name because somehow good, Willing and Gable somehow less over than Shorty G. That's not even going to be relevant. That's not even going to be referenced in a rap song. Jimmy Wang Yang will be referenced in a rap song, not Shorty freaking G. And he gets jobbed out by Sheamus. That brings back his old look. What's in the future for Sheamus? Hopefully a WWE Universal Championship opportunity or something. Just make sure you push everybody to feel like they have a certain spot. Feel like everybody has a major target and a number. Like, okay, fine. Braun Strowman, biggest dude in the roster. He shouldn't have anybody to threat him, but there should be. I think Sheamus pinned somebody like the Big Show, Mark Henry, and Kane before. He beaten big guys before. So he should obviously be in line for like the Intercontinental Championship or something. Just make sure that these guys have a push for a certain championship, a certain feud, a certain vendetta. I want this feud to be killed. This was just pointless. This undervalued everything going on SmackDown. It undervalued Shorty G. It undervalues a guy like Apollo Crews on NXT that hasn't gone through any notable feud since being on the roster. Next up was an interview involving sorry I had to do that. Hulk was warning over a post interview via satellite because obviously we can't have one of the most notable men in our business to actually be, on TV, live in the ring, and talking to the crowd or having a nearby interview somewhere around the arena. No, it had to be via satellite where he has NWO stuff everywhere, and it just really shows like SmackDown people. They did a satellite comm for SmackDown 1000. John Cena, the guy who made SmackDown one of the most popular parts of WWE TV, was on TV, was literally on the Titantron. The Rock as well. I think that was the 800th episode. Bam, on TV. They don't treat SmackDown like anything. Somehow they had Evolution coming up like the 25th anniversary of SmackDown. Evolution. Other than it was cool to see Batista, what was the most important thing Evolution ever did on SmackDown? Nothing I remember. And now we have Hulk Hogan. At least he held the Undisputed title. I don't know what was the thing other than to just make Bray Wyatt feel threatening and thinks Hulk Hogan has has one of the most notable feuds with Goldberg in his time in WCW. It was just a fair warning, brother. At least you're not facing anybody black. So it was a basic threatening basic promo. I thought like the interview shtick with Bray Wyatt was funny. It was entertaining. Him going with that Too Sweet moniker and saying that it doesn't matter, you might be next as well. And he was like, "Oh fuck, I'm trying to get out of here. I'll see you. I'll see you in the Hall of Fame, brother." We get into our next segment. They kept promoting around. It's a big day. It's Valentine's Day. It's time for Otis to go out on a dinner date with Mandy Rose. We see her waiting around the table, and Otis is just getting ready with Tucker Knight. The only way I remember that name was when I got 2K19. I was confused because I didn't watch NXT in 2018 or 2019 to be honest. I mean, I'm there for the takeovers, but I barely see heavy machinery there. So the time when I saw who the fuck is Tucker Knight, now I know who Tucker Knight is, and then they just shorten it to Tucker because I know Tucker Knight sounds like an offensive lineman that got injured once. Braun Strowman saves Elias from Sami Zayn and Cesaro after a protesting concert that went haywire, and the most over part of the night was Cesaro slinging a cowbell around aggressively, and it looked so corny with Sami Zayn feeling like, wasn't this guy a wrestler like last year? And I wanted to understand this segment just undervaluing the fact that he's the something something. They want to give these random nicknames, and nobody lives up to that reputation. What's this reputation Sami Zayn has? What kind of influence did he give to Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura other than being just a manager to make sure they stay up to the top of the roster? Nothing. This guy's biggest pop he ever had in his career was being notable for the Shinsuke Nakamura match that he had to take over Dallas. And of course, the time he referenced AEW when he was sitting on a stupid electric chair with a promo that went nowhere in his career. And a majority of this segment just had him getting booed, gathering more heel heat until Cesaro took off the cowbell, the only thing that was getting a bigger pop in the night. I guess that was okay, just so they could conduct more heat. And as soon as the protest was over, with the cute ass little guitar, Sami Zayn and Cesaro direct our attention to the alone Elias that they're obviously going to do a tag team match like next week on SmackDown before the Super Showdown that I don't even know why they're on Saudi. Go somewhere where the wrestling is. Nobody goes to Saudi Arabia to watch pro wrestling. You could have done a deal in England. You could have do a deal in Ireland, Japan, where wrestling is actually respected. Not in Saudi where they're going to pay you much, and if anybody skips a rock and Charlotte accidentally reveals a tiny bit of flesh, she gets hit with a huge boulder. It's just awkward to me. I felt the segment was just too generic. It felt too bland to just conduct heat. Sami Zayn is obviously an underrated promo, in my opinion. There's times when he could literally be speaking facts, and he's getting real heat. That honesty kills people, and it's stuff like this that just makes it sad to know that he just went to just one of the most promising wrestlers to come out of NXT of the pseudo golden age, even though barely anybody from that type of era actually had any kind of success or just moved out to the indies. Now we have Sami Zayn here in a ukulele failing to sing to the crowd of what he thinks about Elias, and then he just immediately gets stopped by Braun Strowman that yeeted a security guard, yeeted another security guard. Cesaro was taken down, and then a DDT on Sami Zayn just to gather blah, blah, blah. It's just boring. Next up, Dolph Ziggler comes up to intervene in the date after Otis was running late over just coming highly prepared. Well, this is the most positive part of the night. It's building up a relationship feud. Obviously, Dolph Ziggler, I already see history of him. I think he fucked around with Mickie James somehow. Mickie James could have done better. Even he dated Nikki Bella, and he tried to get back with her, and then tried to fuck around with. I think he even was with Beth Phoenix. I don't know. With Dolph Ziggler was with Amy Schumer, so I obviously know he doesn't have anything good going on in his life. And he comes around. It looks like he's trying to get in feud with Otis now, in a sort of love triangle. Otis came around dropping his flowers. He came around with his little. It was funny. It was adorable. It was the most funnest part of the night. Other than this, guess what? It had build up. It was adorable. It got a person that we literally like. And Otis just reminds me of my youngest brother. And it's kind of fucked up because he's autistic. So, take that as much as you want. I'm not doing this to make fun of my little brother. It just looks funny, and he has the same little weird facial expressions. It just looks funny to me because it relates. Because my little brother is a bit pudgy, and he obviously is a shy guy. So it's just funny. It's a great. It was a decent segment. It's gonna build up to something. Next up was the main event. It was a basic ass tag team match that ended up with Baron Corbin coming down. He wasn't. I think he was suspended over attacking a guy from the camera crew back from last week after showing the replay of him getting tossed with dog food by the Usos. Shockingly, the Usos weren't here tonight to stop this. Other than that, it just was the Jerk Cheat facing off against Roman Reigns and his surprise partner being everybody thought of building this up. Who's a guy he tagged with consistently? Daniel Bryan. What was the point? These guys didn't even go for interluding a relevant story, a relevant history. Because I can bring it to you now. Hell in a Cell 2010. Daniel Bryan was defending his United States Championship against both these two fuckers. You couldn't even reference that. And you guys have the WWE Network, and you guys can't even reference any relevant history that these guys have with each other that makes them Daniel Bryan kind of formidable for these dudes. Anything. And a basic. Yes, yes, yes. Uh, Miz was trying to rip off his heat, trying to mock. He's been always trying to mock Daniel Bryan's moveset since he turned heel when he was with the Intercontinental title. His move just consists of Daniel Bryan's moveset, doing the finger four leg lock, then the skull crushing finale, and sometimes the flying clothesline, and very few times will he ever do a new move, other than when the opponent actually does a new move on him. Morrison obviously maneuvering through the ring while Daniel Bryan was trying to keep up a missile dropkick on The Miz. Superman punch that barely connected on The Miz, but he still wanted to sell to make it look like Roman Reigns isn't doing the 5 moves of doom, and it looks slow and repetitive and dumb, and it doesn't bring up any hype factor. I don't think Steve Austin ever had a 5 moves of doom. We know The Rock did. Cena did. Hulk Hogan did. I think Shawn Michaels, but it was like 4 moves. It just looks generic. It looks boring. It was a basic match that we knew that Roman Reigns and Daniel were gonna win off the spear to Miz, and it just ends in a 1-2-3. Oh God! And Corbin just attacked him from behind the back with not even Robert Roode coming to help. So we don't know if Ziggler is just there just to be there because he's also a heel with Corbin. He has nothing to do with Roman Reigns. And all this crap makes no sense. Bring back GMs. Do something. This show sucked other than the Otis segment. Because actually having build-up. What a lack of most wrestling feuds in WWE have. History and build-up. And a whole lot of other stuff. We didn't even get a segment over the New Day. It's like, how does it feel that you have to defend your tag team titles on also what was renowned as the best tag team champions in WWE at some point? Or something. Make everybody involved in something. Or else you got just a bland show with just pro wrestling. No one's there to watch that. You're in WWE to have an experience full of high-octane, high-profile superstars that are in their own world. And then I just noticed that I'm on Fox watching these douchebags wrestle. And nothing's being done. And then I have to know that I'm going to be watching a US-made pay-per-view on fucking Saudi Arabia where most of these guys, well, half of these guys might die when they come back. And I'm going to watch a 50-year-old Goldberg wrestle against a fat dude wearing a condom cum rag mask. And there's barely any feuds filling up other than the dirt sheet have the New Day. Roman Reigns still feuds with Corbin for some reason. Bray Wyatt is just giving Goldberg for just a hype factor for the pay-per-view that they're going to do in a different country. And pretty much Bayley versus Naomi, I guess. They're obviously building that up because who gives a shit about Carmella and her ugly ass, crooked crooked-eyed face over the pay-per-view while both of them were promoting that they were going to win the U.S. title, the women's title. There's no direction. I don't even know most of the guys who are in the roster. And looking them up, most of them have been injured or either not on TV in months or a year. Nobody remembers that time Ruby Riott was even on Raw. When was the last time Ruby Riott was on Raw? It's been nearly 2 years since we even seen her in a feud. Since fucking Natalya back in December. That's how bad WWE is in trying to actually get actual guys that they have in their main roster and do something with it. Not just pushing new talent. Not that BS. Just making a legit TV show with the guys they have. So Logan's a jobber. Everybody becomes a jobber. Even the guys that they push, they're still the guys that they know for a long time. It's just a joke of an episode. I wish I had more positives than this, but other than the main event that had a predictable finish, Otis, a nice moment, there's not much to be notable here, other than just defeating his world champion. Remember when Heath Slater was just talking shit on Daniel Bryan, and then he just got jobbed out after just talking shit? Where's the more into that time when he actually was trying to have like a refurbished career, saying he had doing this for his kids? He tagged him with Rhino. He was getting pops. When's the last time you seen a former Nexus member have pops? Other than Daniel Bryan. Barely anybody. This was a poor show. It gets a 4 out of 10. It was a mediocre. And I'm just wishing they do better. Because since they've been on Fox, it's been just consistently poor, sometimes decent wrestling, very little build-ups, no storylines, while Raw is having these high-profile moments, Raw moments, the tournaments, gauntlet matches, Brock Lesnar, all this crap, while we just have the top star we have is a gimmick that ran its course like middle of August and died October. Daniel Bryan that hasn't been completely over since his heel run when he was Planet Champion. Somehow they found the best idea to give it to the most mid-card purgatory wrestler in the entire world, Kofi Kingston. Held it for 6 months and nobody even remembered who he feuded with for his first title defense. SmackDown was a complete joke, and since the draft, they build themselves over this corner of a wall because they have no real superstars, and it's a joke to me. It's a pure joke. That's it coming from the DST show. I hope you took the video as you did. This is pretty much my opinion, my take. Please comment down below how you felt about the show. That's about it. Coming from me, I'm just going to blow a gasket if I continue going over this show. I'm already 20 minutes over. Thank you for watching.